Tonight, Monica Lewinsky has a new mission. She's telling the story of Amanda Knox, who was wrongfully convicted of murdering her roommate after spending nearly 4 years in Italian prison. After the 4 years of horror, her life forever transformed, defined by a false accusation. Lewinsky is producing the new Hulu series, The Twisted Tale of Amanda Knox. Now, it's not just her interest in the story. The two women are close friends after enduring judgment and shaming. And in a moment, we're going to speak with Monica Lewinsky about her friendship with Amanda Knox and why she is so drawn to her story. But first, here's a look at the series.
Don't move. Don't make a sound.
Amanda,
I don't like this.
we should just turn back.
Why would I return to a country where I was convicted of murder? Because in order to move forward, I need to go back.
È innocente, lo sai.
Per lei sono tutti innocenti.
For 15 years, I've been defined by something that I didn't do.
Many people think they know my story. But now, finally, it's my turn to tell it.
Out front now, Monica Lewinsky. She is the executive producer of The Twisted Tale of Amanda Knox. Also, Warren Littlefield, who is also an executive producer of the series. And I know I heard you refer to him as Littlefield. I mean, you have been working very closely together, right? You're such partners on this. So, Monica, tell me about the first time you met Amanda Knox, who, when you first met her, you would have known her the same way all of us would have known her, through the screen.
Yes.
And seeing all of that, and seeing her story. So you meet her for the first time. What happened, and was it an instant connection?
Well, it was 2017, and Amanda was giving her first public talk at the same place I was also giving a public talk. So she came to my room, I gave her some tea, gave her some pointers on public speaking, and I could see that there was a pain in her, and it's a very unique pain that I recognized. So I think there was an instant connection, an instant understanding of two young women who had become public people who hadn't wanted to and had lost a lot of their identity. Fast forward a few years, and I read this incredible piece that Amanda had been interviewed in the New York Times, and she was talking about wanting to make a movie of her memoir. So I had a first look deal at the time, and I thought, you know, a story that we think we know that we don't is kind of right up my alley. And
right. Everybody thinks they know yours. Everyone thinks they know her.
Exactly.
Hers, yeah.
Well, and it was a time period too where I think we were beginning to revisit young women's stories through a new, more modern lens. And I was very lucky that my executive was savvy, and Carrie Burke at 20th Television was into the idea from the get-go, brought everyone together. Amanda is also an executive producer on the show, which is a really important thing because often the people at the center of these kinds of stories don't get to have a voice and have a say. Then we got our incredible showrunner. I will get to Amazing Warren in a second. Our incredible creator and showrunner, KJ Steinberg, came on board, brought this unbelievable vision. And we always knew we were going to need a rock star executive producer. And the fact that Warren Littlefield wanted to do this with us and the Littlefield Company, it's actually making me emotional, was really, really, really special. And I think it signified to us that we had a project that was going to impact people.
Well, I just go back to when you say the first time you met her, that you saw a pain in her. That is something that maybe is unique in the sense that maybe not many could see it the way that you saw it, but sharing it with the world, while incredibly risky and painful, I'm sure, that is where you are making a difference.
Yeah. Well, I think it's important for, you know, what I hope people might walk away from this series, young people particularly. I think they'll be surprised. They will learn things they didn't know. But ultimately, Amanda's a survivor. And she survived an unimaginable situation. And I think it's always important to remind people that you can get past some of the worst moments of your life.
You know, Warren, when you talk about a rock star, I mean, okay, can I just go through this?
I
First of all,
know,
can I
right?
just say, I knew your name, but then I'm like, this guy's got to be over 100 years old because
No.
I look at this. Okay, so just so everyone knows,
Exactly.
your hits, Seinfeld, Friends, Cheers, Golden Girls. That's where I got to where you 100 years old. I mean, you've done everything. Things that have defined cultural history, though, right? Things that have defined cultural history. That's what defined your career. So, what made you choose to do this now? Right? It's a choice. You look at that resume. Everything you do is a choice.
Well, thank you. We live in this age of misinformation. And so I always ask myself, why this, why now? And so it felt like a unique opportunity to examine truth, right? And so is there truth in Amanda's conviction for the horrible, horrible murder of Meredith Kercher?
Right.
Where was the truth in that? She had a coerced confession, 50 hours of interrogation, very little sleep, almost no food. Like, is that about truth? I don't think so. So we wanted to illuminate that story.
Yeah.
I was also excited to have an opportunity to work with Monica. The more we engaged and the more research we did, because I was no expert in this world of Amanda Knox. I was listening to the bias that was coming out of big media, and they said it's Foxy Knoxy, she's in a sexual tryst, and she's a murderer. And so we wanted to examine that truth. That got very exciting for me.
And in her book, when I spoke to her as her book came, she talked about that Foxy Knoxy, right? That became the definition of her. Mm-hmm. She had no say in how she was defined. She writes, Monica, it feels good to hate bad people, and there's a special kind of hate reserved for bad women. The narrative of the mean girl, the home wrecker, girl-on-girl crime is titillating precisely because it confirms the stereotype that women are secretly one another's worst enemies. I mean, you've lived through this yourself. It's part of how you could see the pain and recognize this. Do you believe that this can ever change?
Yes, I do. Do I believe it can change as quickly as we would hope? No. I think that the hope of how change moves always far exceeds how it actually does. But I think that through stories like this, through people like Amanda speaking up, maybe people might listen to some of the things I have to say, and it shifts their perspective. And as Warren was saying about the show, KJ built the spine of it to be the anatomy of bias, to help people recognize all the ways that we see something, we make these decisions, we have beliefs that become formed.
Narratives we want to fulfill, right?
Yeah. Exactly. And it's interesting, like you were saying about the Foxy Knoxy and those moments about Amanda. I don't know about you, but I was so surprised. I mean, I'm embarrassed to say this. I did not know that they knew who had murdered Meredith and that he had gone to prison. I didn't know the name Rudy Gaudet, but I knew Foxy Knoxy. And that's a big part, I think, of what we're looking at, what Warren's talking about with misinformation and truth is really sort of this idea of why asking that question.
And I think it is incredible. Just when Amanda was here, she was sitting where you're sitting, and she talked about when she met you, and that you said the first time you met her, you said, "Are you okay?" Because I know you're not okay.
Yeah.
That meant something. It meant something so profound to her.
I think it can be so hard to be seen by the whole world and actually not be seen. And so I think in a moment like that, that's really what that connection was about. And she deserved her time then, and she's blossomed, and she deserves to get to be a part of telling her story. And we've had this amazing creative team with Warren and KJ and Hulu and 20th Television and Lisa and AJ, and it's been amazing.
Well, it's incredible, as you just
Very
said, what it's like to be seen by everyone and yet not seen. Thank you both so much. I appreciate it, and it's good to see you both.